So now we're doing FreeCodeCamp Legacy Python for everybody. Web Services XML. I forgot to push record, and so this is my second time going through this. We went halfway through before realizing the blunder. All right, so here we go. Let's make sure we got our notes out. Usually it'd be up the top. It's up here. Scroll to the bottom, and let's go.
So one of the two ways that we...
All right, let's start off by writing this down. Again. Okay, let's do it. XML. XML. All right, what did it say? Marking up data to send across the network. Okay, marking up data. Marks. We use this to mark up data to send across the network. Okay. According to Wikipedia. Okay, so let's go.
Markup data is XML, the other JSON. First, we'll talk about XML. So one of the two ways that we mark up data is XML, the other JSON. First, we'll talk about XML. We'll talk about XML more for a longer time than we talk about JSON. XML stands for...
All right. Extensible Markup Language. Let's write this down. All right, so let's bring this down. Extensible Markup Language. XML, there we go. All right. The primary purpose, its primary purpose is to help information systems share structured data. Okay. What else do we got? It started as a simplified subset of the standard generalized markup language. All right. SGML turns out, and is designed to be relatively human legible. We got to bring this down. All right, let's drop it down right here. The language, bring it over, boom. All right, so let's listen to Chuck talk about it.
For Extensible Markup Language. There was a number of markup languages in the 90s that were out there, ways to send data between computers, and none of them was like amazingly better than the other. But in the late 1990s,
you can look at. I'm only saying this because I've already seen him talk about this, and now I'm just analyzing his facial expressions, and you can see in his eyes when he like squints down, he's remembering being there when there were like a million of these, and they before this one rose to the top, right? You get what I'm saying? Back in the 90s.
Early 1990s, as HTML came out, the idea that we could use less thans and greater thans, you know, or angle brackets, some people call them. Once HTML made angle brackets popular as a representation format, it was pretty natural that we would find a data representation format that would take a similar approach.
Okay, so what he's talking about there is, you know, like in HTML, how it has these angle brackets like that. Well, XML does the same thing. And before HTML, people weren't even doing anything like that. Somebody was like, there was some smart guy saying, "Oh, we could use this like we use brackets and like we use curly braces, right?" And we use what's the other thing called? I'm staring right at him right now. Parentheses. There we go. So yeah, that's what he's talking about. Let's go.
And so inside X.
All right, let's type this out before he goes wild. All right, terminology. XML terminology. Terminology. That's a stupid looking word, isn't it? All right. Tags indicate the beginning and ending of elements. Okay. So attributes hyphen hyphen keyword value pairs on the opening tag of XML. All right, so it's just like attributes with HTML. So now serialize slash serialize, and that's going to be us convert. We're going to convert data in one program into a common format. Let's drop this down. That can be stored and / or transmitted between systems in a programming language hyphen independent manner. All right. So basically what this is saying, let's drop this down also before we get into that. So basically what this is saying is that it converts the data into a general or a common format. Yeah, like it said. So it'll like do some common thing and then send it down. And then later when it gets to the next computer, it'll deserialize it and it'll like, I guess, detect that it's HTML and set it up like XML. No, HTML. Whatever. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. But he'll explain it. I don't know if it's better, but again, he'll explain it again right now.
XML, we're going to talk about tags, we're going to learn approach. And so inside XML, we're going to talk about tags, we're going to talk about attributes, we're going to talk about data, and we've already talked about serialization and deserialization. Serialization is the act of taking data inside of a computer in one programming language, setting it up for transporting it across, and then taking it back apart and turning it back into the data in whatever internal data it needs to be in the destination system. So here's some.
All right. Yeah, so that's what serialization is. Well, whatever. All right, let's go. XML basics, let's do it. So it looks just like HTML, but it is a little bit different. So XML basics. So first we're going to have a start tag, all right? And that's going to look like start. We're going to have like tag like this. Let's put that. We've got in tag, and it'll be like this. We've also got text content. We should let me change this a little bit. Let me put colons at the end of these. How about that? All right, so now we've got text content, and that's going to be we'll have tag, close tag, and then we'll have in here text content. Whoa, content. There's that. And then we've also got attribute, and that's going to be like this. Tag attribute equals value, all right? And then we've also got self closing tag, which is going to be tag. No, that's not it. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's say self hyphen closing hyphen tag, and then we'll have the tag like that. So if it's closing tag, the slash is in front. If it's a self-closing, the slash is in the back. All right, just like HTML. So there's that. Is there something? I thought there was something else I needed to say. I don't remember. Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
Some basic XML, so we can take a look at the various things that make up the XML. So it's very much like HTML in that we have tags, less than, greater than. The difference is we get to name the tags anything we want rather than the eight.
All right, and then let's write that down too. Unlike HTML, we can call the tags anything we want. We can call XML. In XML, we can, while with HTML, comma, the tags are locked. I period E period, maybe, is it, all right, whatever. I period E period H1 comma, what's another tag? H1 body, etc. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, or at least hopefully that's good. Let's drop this tags down. Let's move it over, bring this one back, and there we go. All right, so there's that. Let's keep going.
P tag or the P tag or the H1 tag, and there's a beginning tag and an ending tag, and they're bracketed together, and there's syntax errors in XML. Syntax errors in XML are more severe than syntax errors in HTML. It's supposed to be right. And
let's write that down too. Syntax errors are more severe in XML. All right.
And if you send bad XML, it's likely that the far end will not understand it.
All right, there we go.
So we have a beginning tag and ending tag, and so like name and slash name are a beginning and ending pair. Then there is the actual textual content, and that is the material between it. And then here's a phone and slash phone, and we have this thing called the attribute. Key equals value. The key doesn't have double quotes. The value always has double quotes, and this is like href equals on
double quotes. Okay, I think I put single quotes. Why do I keep pressing escape on this? All right, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's put double quotes here. It must, I don't know if it has anything to do with XML. It has to have double quotes. I don't know. We'll see. But we're putting double quotes on there right now. What else don't we have another one? No. All right, let's go.
On an anchor tag. And sometimes you have what's called a self-closing tag, where you don't actually have a closing tag. You have all the data that you need in the attributes, and so you don't even bother putting an empty text area in a closing tag. So that is a start tag, an end tag, attribute, and then a self-closing tag. Those are some basics of XML. In general, XML...
All right, here's about the white space. This is about where I realized that I was not recording. All right, white space. Here we go. So for this one, line ends don't matter. Line ends don't matter. All right. What that means is basically like we could have person with like name right after it and then Chuck right after it. This could all be on one line. It doesn't matter. It's not going to know the difference anyway. All right. It's basically just ignoring all these line breaks. All right. What else do we have? Line ends don't matter. White space is generally discarded on text elements. And then we indent only for the code to be readable. Okay, let's go.
XML doesn't care too much about white space. It does in the text areas, so in here it matters and here it matters, but things like we can indent this a little bit differently, and we tend to indent it in a way to make it look reasonable. Although once you have programs sending it back and forth, they tend to send it more compacted just for efficiency purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, this is all new to me. Simple element, complex element. What? What's the difference? What's the difference?
One of the concepts is that there is a hierarchical structure within an XML document, and there are parent nodes and child nodes, and you can think of these as simple nodes that is a tag and some data, or a complex element that has a tag that includes other tags, some child tags. And there's a couple of different ways we can take a look at this. The tags.
What? Hold on. What's the difference? This looks exactly the same as this, doesn't it? Like, it's just the colors are different. What's the difference? Obviously the data is different too, but what's the difference? Complex element. Simple. Oh yeah, it's freaking color coded. Okay, so the simple element is just this name equals Chuck, and then if it's nested, that's complex. Okay, so let's write that down. XML elements or nodes Are they actually called nodes? That's why it's not in quotes. Never mind. We've long established that this guy is not Mr. English. Or nodes. All right, there we go. So here we go. Simple elements. Simple element. Okay. And so that would mean regular elements that aren't nested. Regular elements without nesting. All right. And then we've got complex element. Let's put the S at the end of that. Nested elements. There we go. Easy. Nested elements with never mind. Nested elements. That's good enough. Let's go.
And there's a couple of different ways we can take a look at this. The simple and more natural way.
All right, what is this crap? What is this garbage? So it's just nesting. Honestly, I don't know why we need to go over this. I mean, we've all learned HTML at this point, right? I mean, that's why we're using Python. We know how nesting works. I'm not going to write this down because this is like writing down. Okay, breathe in, now breathe out. Write that down, or you'll forget. No, we're not going to forget that. All right, we're going to keep breathing.
Way to think about this is a tree with parent-child relationships. So here we have this A tag on the outside, and that's the top level one. You can only have one outer tag, and you can't have another tag down here. So you have to have one tag that's sort of the root tag for everything in this XML document, and it has two children. So the C tag and the B tag are two children. So the B tag is a child of A, and then C has a D and an E tag that are children there, and then the textual data we model as a child of each of those tags, and you'll see in a bit why it's best to do that. So that is the way to think about this as a tree, to represent that XML as a tree. If we add attributes to it, and this is where you kind of see why it's nice to take the text area and make that be a child of the node, an attribute is a different. So the text is a special kind of child, and you can literally have more than one attribute. You could have x equals 2, zap equals whatever, and these could have a couple of different attributes.
Just like HTML.
The W attribute is a value of 5, and that's the 5 down there.
We know
and so
how
you
to
could
do
have
this.
multiple ones. You can only have one text node. Now, in the case of A, you have a whole bunch of text nodes, but these are because there are child nodes. Within one simple node, you can only have one text element.
Imagine not knowing HTML and then getting this garbage. And it's just like, how do you de-simplify something so simple to understand? And that's what we're dealing with when we're dealing with these old school coders and these new school coders. I'm sure if we had a conversation with Elon Musk or that guy, the Facebook guy, I forgot his name, the guy, he just bought a yacht. I'm sure if we had conversations with them, they would be very hard to understand because they don't know how to speak human. They know how to speak computer more than they know how to speak human, right? I mean, you saw that video of Elon Musk talking with Jack Ma. Well, the fact is, Jack Ma doesn't speak English to begin with. Like he speaks Chinese to begin with, or Mandarin, whatever. And then they're making fun of like him because he doesn't talk with Elon Musk. Well, Elon Musk isn't Wordsworth. Okay, he's not. I'm sure he has to go through Grammarly 1,000 times before sending out a tweet. Regardless, let's go.
Child nodes. Within one simple node, you can only have one text element. You can also think of XML as paths, and the easiest way is to sort of look down this tree version and look at from the path from the parent. So you go to A, then the child B, and then X. So at position AB, you find X. So AB is the path up to the root. So ACD, that's this one, is the path to Y, and ACE is the path to Z. And so
yeah, but do we actually write this down as paths somewhere? Like, I thought it was like dot. When we're accessing D, it would be A.C.D, not slash. Is it slash? Or is this even how to access anything? Or is this just something that's not even real? I don't know. Let's go.
You can think of these as paths. Part of what we're doing is we're coming up with ways to walk through and parse trees of XML data. So the next thing we'll talk about is how we determine if a particular XML document is legal or meets the contracts that two applications have set up.
Schema. What a funny looking word, right? All right. So there's that. Luckily, it was not that bad. Only 39 minutes. Oh, no, excuse me. 24 minutes. Okay, great. I forgot I tried to record this earlier. All right, great. So what is wrong with the following XML? What is wrong with it? The phone doesn't have a closing tag, for sure. Phone tag is missing closing tag. Yep, that's what I think. Check the answer. Looks good. 66%. I can't believe we're cooking so well. One of these days it might say 100. And submit it. There we go. So now we're on to web services XML schema. I don't know how to say that word. This is the first time me ever saying a word like this. Anyway, so we're on to that, and we'll see you next time.